Hello YouTube, I'm Vince White. I'm an employment attorney. On this channel, we answer publicly posted questions from YouTube users, getting folks the answers they need from an employment attorney. We have a question here. Oh, I have to tell you, like, subscribe, comment down below, and share our videos because that is how our channel grows and helps us to help more people just like you. All right, all that's out of the way. Philip asked us, thanks for the videos. You are welcome. Here's a request. Can you do a video about the do's and don'ts of opening statements at mediation? I'm trying to write my opening statement and would appreciate some insight into what adds value to and what increases the risk of an opening statement. Thanks. Absolutely, Philip. The best thing to remember when doing an opening statement at mediation is, you know what? We can get it super simple and super formulaic. And you're going to immediately say, well, I think I could do more complex than that. I think I could do more. And maybe you can. But if I had a first-time associate who was trying to take a crack at drafting their first mediation opening statement, I'd probably tell them to go like this. Reason why your client's likable. Reason why your client was harmed. Thing for the employer to worry about in terms of evidence. Second thing for your employer to worry about in terms of evidence. Third thing for the employer to worry about in terms of evidence. We're here. We're ready to talk. We're comfortable going forward. We have counsel. We don't mind going to trial, but we are here in good faith and we legitimately believe that we are going to engage in this process in good faith with an absolute desire to resolve the horrible events that led to this litigation. Boom. Done. And you're immediately going to be like, that sucks, Vince. That's not oratory. That's not a winning speech. That's not beautiful and moving. No one cried. Accurate. All accurate. It's formulaic and oversimplified. And I think, Vince, you're stupid. And so that's how I do my speeches when I open a mediation. But let's take a couple things into account. This is your first time ever doing this. And everybody in the room when you do it, the mediator, your attorney if you have one, opposing counsel, they've all done this hundreds, if not thousands of times. Will anyone in that room be moved by your words? Nope. They're there in that room because they've grown accustomed to and get paid to reduce horrible acts of workplace discrimination and workplace sexual harassment to dollars. That's why they're in that room. That is not the behavior of a passionate, heartfelt person. It's not. And I say that as someone who does that for a living, right? Listen, I'm passionate about getting my clients paid and, making them whole and fighting what was done wrong to them. But there is fundamentally something wrong with me, right? Like, listen, if somebody comes in with a horrible claim and I'm talking to them on the phone and I'm trying to decide if we can help them or not, some messed up part of my head is trying to fit dollars. Oh, that happened? Oh, that's probably worth this. Oh, that physical symptom of emotional trauma? Okay. Let's assign a value to that. And he did what? Oh my God, I can sell the ever-living hoo-ha out of that. Let's attach a dollar value to that. And that's a really weird thing to do. That's a thing a bad person would do. And I'm doing it. Now, that is my job, and that is what people hire me to do. And I'd like to think if somebody came to me as a friend and was like, hey, I got sexually harassed. Like, can you support me in this? I would do a much better job. I'd be like, yeah, let's talk about it. I'm here for you. What can I do? And I can hope that I would turn the part of my head off that assigns value to these horrible things, right? But no one in that room, when you're there, is going to be doing that because they're all getting paid to figure out the value of what happened to you. And one side, the defense side, is getting paid to figure out how low they can get that value. And if you have counsel, she or he is getting paid to figure out how high they can get that value. And the mediator doesn't care. Only thing mediator cares about is getting a yes. Any yes will do. We got a deal for $1. We got a deal for a blind cat. We got a deal for $10 trillion. Oh, you've taken over the entire nation of Greenland as part of this settlement. Well, isn't that nice for you? Doesn't care. Mediators don't care, right? If you accept a deal, mediator wins. Now, they might care about you. There's mediators who, heart of gold. They believe. They're out there. They don't last very long because people stop using them. Defense attorneys stop using them, right? Mediators who get a little too involved, a little too passionate, stop getting gigs from defense counsel. It's reality, right? So the system self-corrects caring, excitable, passionate mediators right out the door. They don't get paid anymore. Generally speaking. I can think of a couple mediators who are very passionate and caring and wonderful people who remain in the industry. But there's always a bit of an uphill fight when you want to use them, right? Defense counsel are going to say, I don't like that one. I don't use that one for sexual harassment cases. She talked about her own sexual harassment case once at a mediation, and I didn't care for that. It really got the plaintiff excitable because they bonded over it, and the plaintiff got really tenacious and hardline and didn't want to settle after that. Okay, I mean, part of me says you're POS for saying and thinking that. Part of me is also well aware that your job is to get this case settled for as little as possible, and so you have no reason to select a mediator who might get in the feels about what's going on and might push for a higher settlement, right? Like, I get that. That person's never... When you're defense counsel, you can't have that. That mediator can't be. No, that mediator's not an option, right? So the mediator's also going to be rather uncaring. Your counsel, if you have counsel, will be very caring in terms of the fact that she or he wants to make you as much money as possible, because every dollar she or he makes you is going to put between 25 and 50 cents in his or her pocket. Right? So they're going to feel really, really passionate about getting a deal for you, and a good one, hopefully. Unless they're lazy, in which case they'll sell you out. Happens. Rather common in this industry, right? So no one in that room is even really going to listen to your tearjerker. Now, what they are going to listen to is anything that relates to damages, anything that relates to risk at trial that creates more exposure for their client. Because while defense counsel very much do want to get paid to do a trial, they do not want to lose a trial. Losing a trial is incredibly embarrassing for them and can lose them clients. And clients are how they exist, how they live, how they bill $1,600 an hour, how they make partner, and once they make partner, how they hold on to it for dear life as their entire family leaves them. Sorry, defense attorneys. You know you're all alone. Eventually. And I'm sure your kids love you. I'm kidding. Your kids love you. I can think of at least a couple of you whose kids love you. I'm totally kidding. 100% kidding. This is just meant to be funny. I'm sorry. Your children love you, and whatever spouse you're on, that spouse also loves you. I promise. But I digress. So that's why you're hitting the points that I kind of laid out at the beginning of this video, because what you're hitting is, hey, here's the thing you should pay attention to. This changes the value. This changes the risk, right? And that's the magic formula if you need to keep it as simple as possible, in my humble opinion, right? And listen, am I against an experienced attorney going beyond that formula? No. I'm not here saying that's the best you could ever possibly do. I'm saying if you're new to this, it's your first time, and you don't know what to expect or what's going on, and you're going to be in your feels, and you're going to be a little bit nervous. I don't know if any of these things apply to you, Philip. I don't know if any of these things apply to you. Maybe you are the Obama purely for orator. Like, I'm not getting political here. I just think he's a great orator. Right? I also think the war criminal, George Bush Jr., is one hell of an orator. Like, incredible speeches that sound so stupid, but move people, right? We'll go bipartisan. Two very good talkers. people who get the spoken word out there, right? And can command a crowd. If you're one of them, maybe you can go further. Maybe you can go farther. Maybe you can get a lot done in that opening statement. But if I had a first-year associate who was super nervous and for some reason they were going to give a mediation opening statement, for whatever reason, I don't know why that would be, that they would be alone giving a mediation statement. That formula I laid out is what I would want them to hit. And I'd want them to use that for the first couple mediations they opened. And I'd probably want a partner from the firm to be there if they start ad-libbing or going off book with the formula, because it could work out great. Or it could be they depart from the script and it starts to sound pretty shady and not really serving your client's interest, and you need to sit them down and say, I'll take it over from here, right? That's why you work cases in teams. That's why partners oversee associates. That's why young attorneys come up in a apprentice manner under more experienced attorneys on the plaintiff side and also on the defense side. That certainly defense firms do that as well, right? But that's my thought. It's my super simplified thought for you on how to open. Keep it short, maybe like under 10 minutes. And if you kept it to 6, like a tight 6, tight 5 even, economy of words. Pack more meaning in there. Keep their attention, right? The shorter you make it, the more they're actually going to listen to. And it's entirely possible they're not going to listen, because they're human beings. And they're there not to listen, but to get a case done. And they have to be pretty smart to know that actually listening to you is going to help get the case done, right? There's a lot of people who don't know that. There's a lot of people who go to mediation with no intent to make the plaintiff feel heard. And that's fascinating to watch. That's crazy. They want a settlement, but they don't want to listen. What an act of self-loathing it is to show up at mediation and not listen to the person you have to mediate with. But people do, routinely. More often than not, frankly. So, Philip, I hope this helps. Wish you great luck, great success, big things. I am sure you're going to do an amazing opening statement. Also, if you have counsel, and for whatever reason you don't want to give an opening statement, don't. Generally I would tell our clients not, like, listen, you can give an opening statement if you want, but the attorney is going to give one and you don't have to, and this is not your job and you've never done this before, so there's really no value in it unless it's something that's important to you. If you speaking and being heard matters to you in this context, with none of the bad actors actually in the room, if this still matters to you, then by all means, have at it. Let's do it. But if it doesn't, because you're well aware that the mediator and the defense counsel, even your own attorneys, are all kind of functionaries trying to serve your interest or the employer's interest or the court's interest in terms of the mediator, or frankly, the mediator is also trying to serve both parties' interests simultaneously, right? So many masters for a mediator. The court, defense counsel, plaintiff's counsel, everyone has to agree the mediator did an okay job. That is tough. How do you please that many sides who have divergent interests? Tough gig. Tough gig. Rather be an arbitrator, which is what I do, right? You sit and you hear the case, and you don't have to. All you have to do is serve fairness, right? Much easier to making everyone happy and getting to yes. All right, Philip, I hope this helps. If it does, like, subscribe, comment down below, share the video. It helps us to help more people just like you. I say that so much. Take care, everyone.